So as today marks the close of the 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence campaign, many organizations work tirelessly to bring awareness on the scourge around 365 days of this phenomenon. Memeza Community Safety is just one of the organizations. They look for new and innovative ways to fight against gender-based violence. Memeza has dedicated leveraging technology for community well-being and crime prevention. Their innovative systemic GBV reduction and prevention program has helped curb instances of GBV. They say the program has been piloted in Daveyton, in Ekurhuleni, also in the pipeline to be launched in a community in Limpopo. For more insights on this project, Memeza co-founder and chief executive Elmarie Pereira, a very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us, Elmarie. If we could just start off with providing an overview of the work that Memeza Community Safety's systemic GBV reduction and prevention program has done, what have been the key objectives?
Thank you so much. Memeza was founded in 2012 by a lady called Tetwa, and since then we have been deploying tangible safety tools to women that help them get the help they need when they are in trouble. Through the First Strand Empowerment Foundation program, we have deployed this pilot in Daveyton, and we've now moved over to Limpopo, and our focus is on the top gender-based violence hotspots in the country, and we are enabling over 36,000 women over the next 5 years with tangible safety tools, which means you've got something in your hand that you can use to call for help when you're in trouble.
Okay, so before we get into what those things are, it would be helpful to get a profile, firstly, of the project you worked on in the East Rand. What is the incidence rate there of gender-based violence? And maybe if you can just share with us the types of crimes that are prevalent there with regards to GBVF.
Gender-based violence in general, what we found in the area, not only in households, but also in schools, were very, very high. There's a very high rate of learner-to-learner gender-based violence and even learner-to-teacher gender-based violence. The intervention that Memeza has done through the First Strand Empowerment Foundation in Daveyton over the last 3 months has already started to make a positive impact in the reduction of gender-based violence cases. The reason for that is that we follow a 360 approach to combating gender-based violence. We provide the prevention technology. We focus on creating local gender-based violence response networks at a community level, and we create local jobs that that uplifts the community while we're increasing the awareness of gender-based violence. So this 360 approach is not just about having an event, but it's actually about making a real change on the ground.
So what do vulnerable communities, women, girl children, and just children in general, and I know we don't also speak about violence being inflicted against men. This is something that is recorded as police statistics. Do you have that included in your program? What do you put in their hands to help prevent this?
So there's various technologies, and it all depends on the community, the makeup of the community. As you would know, rural communities, sometimes struggle with connectivity. In those cases, we use various technologies that don't rely on connectivity. For instance, the Memeza personal alarm, which is a small alarm system that you just pull a pin and it makes a sound of 140 decibels. This little device has proven to reduce gender-based violence by 67% in pilots that we have done before. Other technologies is the community alarm system, which is a one-press panic button, which alerts your closest police vehicles, your community policing forum, and community members that you are in trouble. And then various other technology apps that also links victims directly with social workers, which means they can get the support not only from a physical response point of view, but also from an emotional point of view.
It's very interesting to talk to hear about how it's connected to police stations near you. Often we'll hear from police in their explanation of why there's a poor response time or none at all, is they'll talk about a lack of resources, whether it's be vehicles or staff. So is that working as well?
Yes, and that is why having partners like the First Round Empowerment Foundation that really buys into the 360 intervention helps. So we at this stage are empowering the police at a local level as well as community policing forums through providing, additional response vehicles, training people to make sure that we can support the police in those communities where we know they are already very thinly spread. So we see it working well, and we see the fact that we bring in public and private response services definitely improving the response to gender-based violence.
All right, let's focus now on the launch of the program in Chilavusiku in Limpopo. As you mentioned that sometimes the dynamics are different in rural areas, and I'd also like to talk about those attitudinal dynamics, because some of this incidence of GBVF is so ingrained in a society that it is accepted to a point that even those who are victimized accept it. They believe that it is the norm, that there's nothing wrong.
That is very, very true. And, this is why we believe that you cannot just go into communities and, see it as a short-term program. It is a systemic project and program that needs to be deployed over time, starting at a school level, even primary school, where you deal with those perceptions of hierarchy and, chauvinism and all those kind of things, to address those dynamics really at a very lower level and make sure that in time you change the perception and you make young children realize what is right and what is wrong when it comes to violence and abuse. And you can only make that change through long-term intervention, through very focused programs, and making sure that you fix the problem where it starts. And that is where our children are seeing what parents are doing and thinking that is a norm.
And finally, what else are you looking for, exploring in terms of technological advancement in crime prevention? I'm just thinking of the Department of Science and Innovation. Are those possible partners that you're looking at? What is new in these types of trends of preventing GBVF?
It is a very exciting field, if I can call it like that, because technology is always changing. And luckily for Memeza, we've been assisted by government for the last 10 years. So we work very closely with Department Innovation and Technology, the Center for Public Service Innovation. And, just looking at IoT and the fourth industrial revolution, we need to stay on top of those kind of things. And I think one of the key areas that we try and focus in is not always so much about what we can change in these devices, but it's about the connectivity that we need to make sure that, as communities have, especially rural communities, so that the technology that we have available can work optimally. And that is, where we are looking for new partnerships to come on board to help us make sure that that connectivity does reach those communities so that they can use what we can provide.
Well, Elmarie Pereira, thank you so much for your time, and wishing you and your colleagues all the best in the good work that you're doing. That is the Memeza co-founder and chief executive, Elmarie Pereira.